Okay, the second video I made for you to just review some of the key terms that are going to be on this Unit 4 exam is a little video that tells you about the difference between aerobic versus anaerobic respiration. When you hear the word aerobic, think about air, think about the oxygen in the air. Aerobic activities need and love oxygen. The aerobic activities that we talked about, or the processes that we talked about during Chapter 4, are photosynthesis. You can see right here, 6 carbon dioxides and 6 waters produce glucose and oxygen. So there's a lot of oxygen in that equation. You've also got cellular respiration. Glucose and oxygen makes carbon dioxide and water. So you see a lot of oxygen in that equation. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are energy producing processes that are aerobic. They love the oxygen. Aerobic processes hate oxygen. They are anti-air, anaerobic. So the an makes you think of anti. They hate oxygen. Our anaerobic process that we talk about is glycolysis. Glycolysis is another way that your cells can produce energy without using oxygen. The two glycolysis processes that we talked about in Unit 4 were fermentation. This is going to produce a byproduct of alcohol. Okay, fermentation occurs when you put, it makes wine. When you put fruit in the bottle and you cork it, you keep out all of the oxygen. Those sugars in there are going to ferment and produce alcohol as a byproduct. We also saw glycolysis and fermentation take place during our lab activity when we had the yeast bubbles and we measured them, and we saw that the yeast rose higher at just an optimal temperature around 40 degrees Celsius, and this is how bread rises when yeast is undergoing fermentation in the absence of oxygen. So alcohol is a byproduct of fermentation, and when glycolysis occurs in our cells because we've worked out really hard or we're gasping for air and our cells aren't getting as much oxygen as they want, we know that the byproduct here is not alcohol, but rather lactic acid. And that lactic acid buildup is what gives your muscles that soreness the day after a good workout. So aerobic loves air, anaerobic hates air. Hope this helps.